picture this, all right. A smartphone screen is just glowing in the dark. It is exactly 10:03 p.m.
Oh, this gives me chills every time.
Right. So a FaceTime call connects. The video quality is super grainy, but you can clearly see the man on the screen. He has a hood pulled up over his head.
And his wrists. You can see his wrists are bound together by zip ties.
Exactly. He is sitting in what looks like an old, dirty van with mesh windows. He leans in. His voice is this frantic whisper, and he says right into the camera, "I've just been captured or arrested. They're coming back for me."
And then the screen just goes completely black.
The cameras flashed, the crowd froze. And just like that, the UK tabloids in Hollywood had a totally new obsession.
Welcome to Starscope Report,
Where you join Jordan and Jamie as they uncover Hollywood drama, music industry shakeups, and viral influencer scandals. From red carpet surprises to social media controversies, we dive deep into the stories behind the fame.
And today's deep dive is, well, it is a massive one. We are navigating a huge stack of sources, from the Mirror and the Sun to Reality Tea and, tons of international news reports.
Yeah, our mission today is to figure out if we are looking at a tragic, high-stakes international kidnapping or literally the most chaotic reality TV scam of the decade.
Based on the YouTube video title that started all this chaos, the Katie Price kidnapping claim that has everyone asking questions.
Everyone is definitely asking questions. So let's start with the players here. We are looking at 47-year-old former glamour model and reality TV staple, Katie Price, and her 43-year-old new husband, Lee Andrews.
Right. And to really understand that terrifying van video, we have to look at the timeline because how fast did this relationship actually move?
Oh, fast is an understatement. I mean, they connected on social media in January of this year, January 2026.
Wait, just this year?
Yes, within days of knowing each other.
Yeah.
Literally days. They are getting matching tattoos. They are buying rings.
That is wild.
And by January 25th, they're legally married in Dubai, which naturally, reportedly shocked her entire family. Like, her children found out via text message.
Oh my gosh, a text message.
Yeah. Her sister Sophie was apparently openly critical about it. And, when a relationship moves at that kind of terminal velocity, it creates a psychological bottleneck.
Right, because the victim or, the partner in this case, they just don't have time to verify facts or check backgrounds or even ask the hard questions. You're just totally swept up in the momentum.
And the momentum was fueled by an incredibly flashy illusion, because Lee Andrews presented himself as a massively successful entrepreneur.
Whoa, the lifestyle he was projecting was insane.
The reports claim he bought them a £36 million mansion in Dubai, entirely in cash.
Cash, just think about that.
So put yourself in Katie's shoes for a second. You meet a guy, he showers you with affection, marries you instantly, and moves you into this palatial estate. Everything looks like a fairy tale.
Until last Tuesday, May 12th.
Right, which was supposed to be their big public victory lap. Lee was scheduled to fly from Dubai to the UK for a joint appearance on ITV's Good Morning Britain.
But he never boards the flight. He posts a quick video on Instagram claiming he had a couple of last-minute things to do.
Leaving Katie to go on national television completely alone.
I cannot even imagine the panic in the green room before that show.
Seriously. She has to sit there on live television and deny that he was detained at the airport. She's claiming it was just some sort of minor visa issue.
But she was furious.
Oh, absolutely. Because she goes on her podcast shortly after and publicly calls her husband of 4 months a massive DK for leaving her hanging.
Which is pretty mild considering the circumstances, honestly. But then the very next day, a post goes up on Katie's Instagram announcing that Lee's taking a social media break because of all the trolling and speculation.
Which, as we know, is standard crisis management for influencers. When the narrative gets messy, you just put the problematic party in a timeout.
Exactly. But over the weekend, the narrative doesn't just get messy, it completely detonates.
Yes. Katie drops that bombshell YouTube video declaring that the social media break was just a cover story. Lee isn't taking a break. He is officially a missing person.
This is where she reveals that chilling FaceTime call from the dark van. She claims he was trying to go through the Hadda border.
That's the border between Dubai and Oman.
Right. Trying to get on a flight to her. And according to her, his location tracking went totally dead on Wednesday at 10:03 p.m.
She insists he is not in any prison, he is not in any police station, and she genuinely fears he has been kidnapped.
And we really have to look at how seriously this was taken by authorities at this point. This was not just treated as tabloid fodder.
No, the UK Foreign Office, the FCDO, they actually issued an official statement confirming they are supporting the family of a British man.
And they're in contact with local authorities, Lee's family even filed a formal missing persons report with the British Embassy in Dubai.
Katie is reportedly in constant contact with the head of CID, the Criminal Investigation Department, in Dubai. But see, this is what is tripping me up.
Woke that.
If we look at the mechanics of a real kidnapping for ransom, communication is the entire point, right? Silence is the opposite of what a kidnapper wants.
That is a really good point.
How does a person go from just flaking on a daytime TV interview on Tuesday to an international border kidnapping on Wednesday night?
It escalates so weirdly.
Right. A kidnapper who doesn't want money isn't a kidnapper. They are an assassin. And no one is orchestrating a geopolitical assassination over a reality TV husband.
Yeah.
The math is simply not mathing.
Yeah, when the evidence contradicts the inciting incident, investigators start looking for alternative explanations, like a staged event, an escape attempt.
Or a massive diversion. And that's not even the wildest part. Later in the episode, we'll talk about the shocking twist nobody saw coming.
You definitely want to stick around for that. Because just as the world started bracing for the worst, investigative journalists started digging into the foundation of Lee's life in Dubai.
And the reporting that followed completely dismantled the kidnapping narrative. The Sun reporter, Clemmie Moody, dropped this explosive piece that didn't just question the kidnapping, it literally dubbed Lee Andrews an international mastermind criminal.
A mastermind criminal?
Hold on, let's talk about his actual location first.
Yeah.
Because according to these reports, he hasn't been taken by some shadowy cartel at the Oman border at all.
Nope. Reports indicate he is actually squatting in a slightly rundown villa in Dubai.
Wait, squatting?
Squatting, using a burner phone to frantically plan an escape route from the massive trouble he is in.
But what about that £36 million mansion he supposedly bought in cash?
Totally fake, completely fake. It was just a rental.
Oh my God.
It's like trying to maintain a Hollywood set, right? From the front, it looks like a billionaire's estate. But if you look behind the facade, it is just 2x4s, a short-term rental agreement, and an impending eviction notice.
Wow. But how do you fake a £36 million cash purchase to your own wife? Wouldn't there be deeds or lawyers involved?
Well, in Dubai, creating the illusion of extreme wealth is actually incredibly common, and con artists weaponize that aesthetic to build trust. You basically rely on the fact that your partner doesn't know the local real estate laws.
And you move so fast that they just don't have time to ask for the paperwork.
Exactly. But the fake mansion is just the tip of the iceberg here. When authorities started digging into his background, they uncovered a staggering history of alleged fraud.
We're talking about a history that has reportedly caught the attention of Interpol.
Interpol?
Yes, who are now looking for him after Hertfordshire police escalated an investigation.
Yeah.
So we need to look at the real reason he couldn't fly to the UK for Good Morning Britain.
Because it wasn't a visa issue.
And he didn't just have errands to run.
The reality is that Lee spent 3 months in Dubai's Al Aware Central Prison last year.
3 months in prison. For what?
According to the sources, he allegedly forged the signature of his ex-girlfriend. She was a personal trainer named Dina Taji, who he was with for 2 years. He forged her signature to take out a £200,000 mortgage in her name.
Wait, how do you forge a £200,000 mortgage without the bank calling the actual person? That is insane.
That is the terrifying part of financial fraud in the digital age. If you have access to someone's personal documents, their emails, and their phone, which, you often do in a long-term relationship, you can intercept all those verification processes.
That is incredibly scary.
Dina Taji only found out when the mortgage company contacted her directly about the debt. He was caught, he served his 3 months in prison, and upon his release, he was slapped with a strict travel ban.
A travel ban.
Yeah.
So let me get this straight. When he married Katie in January, he knew he couldn't leave the country.
Yep.
When they booked a live television interview in the UK for May, he knew he physically could not board an airplane. He was playing a game of chicken with a brick wall, just hoping the lies would somehow hold up.
Precisely. In the UAE legal system, a travel ban means your passport is either held or you are flagged in the border control system. You literally cannot pass through immigration at the airport. He was totally trapped.
And Dina Taji isn't the only one he did this to. There is an American businesswoman named Crystal Janke. She accused Lee of conning her out of £123,000.
Oh, the sustainable vehicle pitch, right?
Yeah, he pitched her a sustainable vehicle company and promised her a return of £1 million, which obviously never materialized, and his entire resume, It's an absolute work of fiction.
Seriously. He claimed he was making $2 to $5 million a year trading in the U.S. stock market. He claimed he was on the advisory board for the UK Labour Party.
The Labour Party.
Yes. He even claimed he was a director of philanthropy at the King's Trust, formerly the Prince's Trust.
Which is almost comical because these are massive verifiable lies. You could just call the King's Trust and ask if he works there.
Exactly. And when he was confronted about these lies by journalists, you know what he said? He blamed it on an assistant.
How does an assistant accidentally put you on the Labour Party advisory board? I can't.
It speaks to a profound level of audacity, or perhaps just a pathological detachment from reality. When a con artist is backed into a corner, they don't confess, They escalate the lie.
Which brings us to the most cinematic, telling detail of all. The 10:03 p.m. FaceTime call with the zip ties. That was not his first dramatic vanishing act.
No, it wasn't the habitual airport vanisher. This pattern completely blew my mind.
Mine too. Tell him about Alana.
So just 1 year ago, he was dating another woman, Alana Percival. They were together for 9 months. He was sending her WhatsApp messages saying he loved her more than life itself.
And then?
And then, when the relationship presumably got too complicated or the lies were catching up to him, he pulled the exact same stunt at an airport. He vanished, claiming he couldn't travel because he had a life-limiting heart condition.
He literally used a fake terminal illness to ghost his girlfriend.
Yes. Now, Alana is publicly urging Katie to run for the hills.
So let's summarize the man Katie Price married. He has a travel ban from a prison stint for mortgage fraud. He allegedly scammed another woman out of 6 figures. His entire career is made up. Interpol is looking for him.
Right.
And he has a documented history of faking major medical or physical crises at airports to disappear. When you lay it all out like that, the dark van and the zip ties suddenly look a lot less like an international cartel hit.
And a lot more like a desperate man staging a performance because he knows his angry wife and the authorities are closing in.
Exactly. Hey, if you are loving these Hollywood twists, make sure you are subscribed. We've got even crazier stories ahead. Because the story does not end with him hiding in a rundown villa.
Not at all. We have to look at the public fallout because the internet, which is, usually very sympathetic to missing persons cases, is not buying the kidnapping narrative at all.
The comment sections under Katie's YouTube video are absolutely brutal. People are writing things like, he's hiding, he knows the game is up.
And the scam didn't work, so he's done a runner.
Yeah, there is zero public trust in the inciting incident. And according to sources, Katie is absolutely mortified. She is terrified that people think this is a PR stunt, and she is insisting she is not in on it.
But her behavior during this supposed life or death crisis has been incredibly confusing. I mean, put yourself in the shoes of a normal person observing this.
Right.
If your husband has just been captured at a border by unknown assailants, your reaction is probably total silence. Going underground, working quietly with the embassy.
But Katie is still posting on Instagram. She is posting photos of a night out with her adult son. She is posting tributes for Daughter's Day.
We really have to analyze the psychology of modern influencer crisis management here. For someone whose entire life and income are tied to public visibility, the camera never turns off.
It's parasocial monetization.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Even a traumatic crisis becomes a content opportunity. Which brings us to the absolute wild card in all of this.
Oh, this part is just, I couldn't believe it. While her husband is supposedly missing in the Middle East, Katie is actively promoting her clairvoyant business and selling CBD oil to her followers.
Wait, CBD oil?
Yes, she's claiming it helps her deal with her anxious anxiety over the kidnapping. She is dropping promo codes for CBD oil while her husband is allegedly in a hostage situation.
It completely shatters the illusion of a grieving, panicked spouse. It creates massive cognitive dissonance for the audience.
It really does. You cannot ask the public to treat a situation with grave life or death seriousness while simultaneously using it as a marketing funnel for wellness products.
You just can't. And this is exactly where the family dynamics finally implode.
This was the jaw-dropping moment for me. You would expect Lee's mother, Trisha, to be united with her daughter-in-law during a crisis like this.
You'd think so, yeah.
But Trisha publicly turned on Katie in the comment sections of social media. A user defended Trisha, and Trisha actually replied, agreeing that Katie is exploiting the situation for attention, while she, the mother of the missing man, is absorbing all the public backlash.
Which introduces a really complex layer of blame. Trisha is essentially validating the public's skepticism.
Right.
She might not be questioning whether her son is missing, but she is openly condemning Katie's motivations and her handling of the crisis.
I want you listening to really think about this. You marry a guy after a few days, you think he's a multimillionaire. He vanishes, leaving you humiliated on live TV.
Uh-huh.
Then journalists reveal he is actually an international con man who used a rental house to trick you. And now, his own mother is publicly attacking you, saying you're exploiting the situation. At what point does a victim of an elaborate scam become a participant in the circus?
Because whether she knew about the fraud or not, she is certainly capitalizing on the fallout.
Yeah.
That is the defining question of modern celebrity scandal. You can be a genuine victim of fraud, but if you process that trauma through the machinery of reality TV and influencer monetization, the public will instantly revoke your victim status.
The medium becomes the message.
Exactly.
Stay tuned and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss what we uncover next. Because as dizzying as this journey has been, from a lavish red carpet romance and a terrifying late-night FaceTime call to burner phones, fake mansions, and a massive trail of scammed ex-girlfriends, the story is far from over.
It really is. As of the latest reports, Lee Andrews is still officially a missing person.
Still missing.
The Dubai authorities and the British Embassy are still actively investigating. There has been no formal announcement of his arrest, and the authorities haven't publicly confirmed the location of that bringer phone in the rundown villa.
It is a massive, unresolved cliffhanger. You've been listening to Starscope Report, where Jordan and Jamie uncover the stories shaping Hollywood, music, and pop culture. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that keep the stars shining.
The layers of deception here are truly unprecedented, blending digital influencer reality with serious international criminal allegations.
Which leaves us with one final thought to mull over. We have spent this entire deep dive analyzing the actions of the con man and the influencer. But what about us, the audience? As the line between reality TV drama and actual true crime entirely disappears, are our clicks, our comments, and our obsession actually incentivizing these stars to turn their deepest real-world traumas into broadcast entertainment?
Yeah, it makes you wonder.
If crisis equals engagement, who is really writing the script?